The Oxford Dictionary states that science is the intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. In other more understandable terms, science is a field which tries to gather knowledge to find models that try and approach our reality. To categorize something as scientific knowledge, it has to pass a certain amount of tests. Indeed, we cannot dissociate science from the scientific method. It consists of a step-by-step approach. First, we will observe the world around us and set a hypothesis. We will then put this hypothesis to the test. This will provide us data. The data will either validate our theory and then create new scientific knowledge, or falsify it. If our theory is falsified, we will then look into creating new ones. The ultimate rule of science is that the knowledge gained from it has to be falsifiable. This is what dissociates science from pseudoscience. For example, astronomy is a science because we moved from a geocentric conception of the universe to a heliocentric one because of scientific knowledge. But psychoanalysis is different because you cannot experiment things and you can basically prove anything and everything. Now that we've cleared up this question, we will move to the controversial topic regarding GMOs, focusing on crops. Let us first take a look at some of the views regarding them.
I don't like GMO crops because there's been an increase in allergies lately and we've no idea what we're eating.
I'm for GMOs because I actually think for development towards underdeveloped countries where they can't actually grow their own fruits or their own agricultural benefits, it would definitely develop the society and feed the masses more successfully.
But would you eat them?
I wouldn't eat them personally myself unless I'd actually had more study into it myself.
I probably would eat them, but I don't know what influence they have on other plants.
So you're still unsure about them? You question them?
Yes, of course I do.
Okay, yeah. Basically, I would go GMO because I'd rather go local and organically grown.
I don't like GMOs because I don't know what it might affect human bodies with.
Yeah, I would eat GMOs.
Why?
Because we already do. So, there's not really, you know, people say that there's all this stuff they cause all these various cancers and things like that, which is, you know, utter rubbish.
Would you eat GMOs? No, because I'm scared it's going to modify my own genes.
Well, must change or we die as a race.
Because of GMOs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, so you wouldn't eat them because you think they
I try not to. I most definitely go out of my way not to. Monsanto is one of the most fucking nasty piece of shit in the world, actually. So I don't want to support Monsanto at all. They're one of the biggest companies in the world, and they're a piece of because insects will actually take their pollen and take it to other plants, right? You'll start actually fucking like having loads of plants that will not be able to produce any seeds. And you will actually make this world barren.
We will now be talking with Caroline, a fourth-year biology student who's interested in the subject. We've seen the videos and people don't think that GMOs are a very positive thing. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's because people don't trust scientific studies and the government. First of all, GMs came to Europe just after the mad cow disease, and the government was telling people that this wasn't going to be harmful to human health, whereas it was. And then second of all, like GM is associated with Monsanto. Monsanto, which in the past has sold DDT and said that it was safe when in the end it wasn't. So there's not much trust in that. And finally, it's also because GM is viewed as a very unnatural thing. People don't realize that agriculture has been manipulated in many ways, and yeah, that's why I think it is.
There has been a study by Saralini that states that GMs causes cancer in rats. What do you think about that study?
Well, I think about that study that the scientific experiment was very bad. First of all, he was testing for 9 different treatments and used only one control group. So the probabilities of finding changes in those treatments was higher than in the control group. And then he used rats, which are known to develop spontaneous tumors. So the control group should have been even higher to assess that these tumors were not caused by the conditions of the lab. And then the last thing, he published pictures about those rats with tumors, and that has no scientific basis. It was obviously aimed to shock people.
Do you eat GMOs, Caroline?
Yeah, I would. I actually think that GMOs are safer than normal food because they're submitted to much more testing before being commercialized. And when you look at the conventional way of breeding, just taking 2 plant genomes and crossing them together creates effects that you don't know, whereas in GMOs, you know what you're doing, you're targeting a gene, so it's much less of a genetic gamble.